everyone and welcome back to the channel. Sorry for not uploading videos for a very long time, but today I am back with a very interesting concept. Tada! This is a terrarium. A terrarium is basically a self-sustaining ecosystem filled with plants, microorganisms, organisms, rocks and soil. Now we are never supposed to open this because it's an ecosystem, but I'll open it once to show you what is inside. As you can see, inside there are plants, there is some rocks, driftwood, and if you look at the prophyllic view, there is some soil and rocks at the bottom. Now I'm going to explain what all do you need, what's the importance of a terrarium and how to make it. So first of all, we need a jar. A jar may be of this size and bigger, but you don't need to take a small jar because the organisms need to live and so do the plants. Then you need some rocks, the rocks which you can find in the garden or by the side of the road. They will act as the bedrocks. Then you need some soil. You need to make sure that the soil is fertile. One way to check whether the soil is fertile is with the color, whether it's too dark or too light, and if organisms live in it. If organisms live in it and the color is extremely dark, that means it is fertile. The soil which I have used is extremely fertile. Then you may not find this, but I suggest you to check in some wet places near an air conditioner or other areas where algae, moss and lichens may grow. They are a very important part of the terrarium, as I will explain later. Then you need some small seeds, jade plants or maybe shoots of small plants that may not grow bigger than 5 to 6 inches. Then you need some rocks and driftwood, but that is all peripheral. So, first of all, we are supposed to add the rocks at the bottom. So that creates a bedrock, and this does not allow the water to seep in and form mold. Mold is very bad for your terrarium. If you see any sort of brown organism forming and the plant starting to dry, that means your terrarium is immediately in danger and you need to add some sort of repellent or organism in this. After that, we need to put a layer of fertile soil about this thick or maybe even thicker if you have a bigger jar. With that, you need to calmly and softly, gently put the plant shoots into the soil with the roots carefully going down. Now you need to make sure that the roots are not broken, because if the roots are broken, we will not be able to see because it will be in the soil, so our vision will be distracted. So we will not be able to see the shoots going down, and that's how the plant can die. Now we are not supposed to open this a lot of times, so if the plant dies, it dies. So we need to make sure that the planting is the most important process, because the plant is one of the most important organisms in the terrarium. So then you slowly put the plant into the soil and you gently let it be. The plant will reproduce and eventually shoots like these will eventually come up. It can become a rainforest within days. After that, all you need to do is just wait for some time and the shoots will start to grow. Then you need to add some rocks. Rocks means on the top to give a sort of decoration, home to organisms, etc. After that, you need to add the driftwood. Driftwood is like the bark or any sort of rough wood found on the side of the road or on the road. It is perfect. It gives the look as well as the shelter to organisms. Now comes the most interesting part, or to some the most yucky part. That means the collecting of animals and putting them into the jar. We need, as I said, fungi, moss or lichens, basically algae. So that you can find in some wet areas, like I said, behind the air conditioner or somewhere where a tap was recently left running. These are very important because they don't allow the mold to grow and they eat any unwanted or foreign particles in your terrarium. So that is very important, since you will not be able to perform these processes yourself because the terrarium will be closed. As you can see, I am not supposed to open this, but I just opened this to show it to you. It's supposed to stay closed and near a sunny place so that it can continue with its life-thriving form. Now, after you do this, just add some, you can say, springtails or woodlice, commonly known in the UK or America, and you're supposed to add them. Basically, they're not seen as they're very tiny, and when you put them in the soil, they just do their job and the soil remains fertile. One way to check if the soil is fertile is when check after 1 or 2 months, and if your terrarium is still alive, that means springtails are in your soil. Millipedes, earthworms, redworms are also the ideal choice. Fungi and springtails are the most important, so don't forget to add them. Now let me explain how the terrarium works. You must be thinking, how does it work? The organisms and the plants, they live together, but how does it work? So basically the organisms present in the soil, they take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide. So we all know the plants perform photosynthesis, take in carbon dioxide and give out oxygen. So the animals, they get the food by the oxygen given out by the plants, and the carbon dioxide given out by the animals is taken in as air by the plants. So that's how the balance is created and an ecosystem is made. How to keep a terrarium? The jar must be closed at all times. Before you close the jar, make sure with a sprinkler or a few dropfuls of the hand, make sure that it is nicely misted with water. After that, close the terrarium and put it in a sunny windowsill to enjoy. After that, we of course need to make sure whether the terrarium is thriving or not. One way to make sure is the water droplets. Water droplets coming means carbon dioxide and oxygen are condensing on the cold surface of the glass and they're forming the water droplets. Next, if 1 or 2 months later your terrarium is still alive, that means springtails and other good organisms for your plant are present in the soil. And the fungi needs to be green before you put it in. Brown or darker fungi may mean virus-causing fungi too. That's all for today. Thank you. See you later. And if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel.